Welcome back to Logical A Meets World. I'm Cryptoglyphics. I'm still very new to YouTube and letting myself be seen like this in this setting. So I'm still very nervous, still very anxious. That being said, I do want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to come by the channel. In today's video, I'm going to cover part 3 of autism in the workplace. Now, this video is going to center around the work environment. Now, starting this, it's important to cover 2 factors that I think are really interwoven in this. One, autistic adults make up 2.2% of the US population. That's a very small portion. The second point I want to make is that autism is relatively invisible. Now, what I mean by that is just by looking at someone, you can't tell or assume that they have autism. Given those 2 factors, it's understandable that there would be very little knowledge or understanding or education within a company as it relates to working with someone with autism. In fact, there are a lot of people who will work their lives without working with someone who is autistic. When it comes to a work environment and working as an autistic, when engaging with our peers, we're very honest, very loyal, but often when we talk, it's going to be very direct. And it'll be direct in a way that can come off as very surprising to our work peers who don't understand or have any knowledge of autism. Now, this can place us on some uneasy footing right out of the gate, and it's something that neither party wanted. The best way forward in order to create an atmosphere where there is at least some general known knowledge is through creating organizational policies that cover things like autism and neurodiversity, and being able to educate your current employees and future employees about autism and about what they may encounter in working on a team or in a department with someone with autism. Now, much of the time when autistic people are working, the focus and effort is basically on the work. The underlying work culture, the things, like the gossip at the water cooler is just not something that we're going to gravitate to. That is just not an interest. Our interest is doing the best job that we possibly can, and that is where our time is going to be spent. When it comes to creating an environment that is conducive for people with autism, it's going to center around asking questions to better understand how an autistic person works. It's not just about how skilled they are, their knowledge base. All of that is meaningless if there is no environment which they can successfully work in. Some of the things that you'll want to cover in your questions are things like sensory issues, things like smells, textures, too much light, too much sound can have an adverse effect when it comes to sensory and performance of autistic people. So if the job that you're hiring the autistic person for is in a particular department setting, in a particular building or environment, it's important to know if the environment is going to have factors that need to be adjusted in order for an autistic person taking that position to be able to perform at his or her best. Now, in failing to do so, I can tell you from firsthand experience that this does not have an ideal outcome for employee or employer. When it comes to making these adaptive changes, things like setting a workspace with a lower light, maybe one that is not as close to high traffic people areas as possible, are ideal. When that's not possible, noise canceling headphones, I have found, are very effective. Also, when it comes to working with autistic people, action verbs are very, very effective in getting the point across as to the expectations of the work. Also, some autistics work better with visual workflow charts. Now, above all, and for me personally, this one is very, very important, is patience. Uh, when bringing someone on with autism, and this is very, very relatable to myself, coming into a new place that is totally foreign and foreign or people that I have not met before and engaged with um, can be very uncomforting. In fact, for me, the faster that I can get into the work to try to acclimate myself to the new environment, to the new people, works pretty well. Being put into an environment with people and then being expected to immediately engage with them is something that I will personally struggle with a great deal, which would naturally call into question my ability to work with them and fulfill the duties I am assigned to do. So understanding and being able to adapt to what works best and makes an autistic employee effective can allow for great gains going forward. You'll find that with most autistic employees, when we work, we put forth a great deal of effort. We can hyper focus on what we're doing and produce a performance that I think can be inspiring to our peers. Now, there are many organizations out there that I will cover in the last video and leave links to that that have designed themselves to help companies plan and implement programs and frameworks in order to assist and be of benefit to autistic employees. Um, there are some companies that are making strides in this area, but not as many as you'd think, and not as many as there could be. So I'm going to close this video today. I had some illness earlier in the week and wasn't sure that I would be putting out this video. Before I go, I do want to mention that there will be a couple of links in the bottom of the description, in the description of the video below, for you to review more details on what I have talked about today. If you have found this topic or this information informative or interesting, please give the video a like. If you would like to have some more content like this, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell so that you can be informed when the next video comes out. I want to thank everyone again for stopping by the channel and supporting it. I hope that you're off to a great start in the new year and that you're finding success early in it. Until the next video, you guys take care.